going on, guys? MOPC4IQ here with another Situational Damage podcast. This one, we kind of done it off the dome, just thought about it literally, about 20 minutes ago. Having a conversation with my two guests that I've got on today, and we're going to be talking about bad habits. So, whether that be bad habits from previous games that you played, moving over to a new one, bad habits of play styles, your metagame, bad habits you might get from playing certain people or playing online instead of offline, vice versa. We're going to try and cover as many points as we can on this topic, and let's start off by introducing people that are going to be on. So let's start with Benji.
What's going on, guys? This is MOP Benji Topaz. Sorry if I'm a bit quiet. It's quite late right now in England. And unlike all these men in the room, I'm just a little boy.
Wow.
Whereas family's in the other room trying to sleep, so I've got to keep on the down low. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yep, that's Benji. Obviously, check out his stuff for some, would you call it the best link in the UK?
Yes, best link. The top secret Ganon. This is what the CIA, this is what the SWAT teams call upon. When things go wrong in the universe,
Is
they
that
call
why
my Ganon.
sirens past my house?
Yeah.
Oh my days! I shouldn't. I touched the nerve. I touched the nerve. I set him off. I set Benji off.
You've touched the untouchable.
Well done.
Forgive me, stream. But yeah, that's Benji Topaz stream. XSplit, innit? I'm using XSplit, so I automatically think I'm streaming. Sorry, excuse me, YouTubers, because that's where it's gonna go. God, Jammerz are correcting me on my own stuff. Go back to your own channel, bro.
I can leave the chat now if you want.
Your standards are slipping, but anyway.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Cool.
Shout out to Justin. But yeah, obviously, yeah, everyone knows who's on the other person. Go on, mate, introduce yourself.
All right. What's up, guys? Unequal Media's Mash on Pad Jammerz back for. I think this is Is it the third or fourth time?
Yeah, bro. Stinky smell, bro. You won't leave.
Wow, stinky smell. Yeah. I carry Link's deodorant everywhere I go, mate. So I'll have you know that.
Fart in the phone box, bro. Links can't save you from that.
Wow.
You know when you go, well, no one goes in the phone box no more. But back in the day, when you go in the phone box and someone farted in there, the fart was being there for time.
I don't know what timeline you were living in, Bob. But
vortex, bro. The fart was a vortex. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're too young for that. But yeah, what's a phone box?
I know what a phone box is, but I never had to deal with that situation.
Fair enough. Sorry, you only know about phone boxes for the history books. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Okay. Wow. Is this bad habits? Are we popping off each other?
It's a bad habit that I'll pop off, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that's a bad habit in itself.
It is a bad habit. But yeah, Unequal Media's MOP Jammerz for, I think it's like the fifth or fourth.
Something like that.
Yeah, you're easily manipulated, so I can always get you on when I need to fill a gap, so it's sick.
Easily manipulated, wow, okay.
Shout out to Jammerz. If you're into Skullgirls, check him out. If you're into Cross Tekken, check him out. If you're into Kingdom Hearts, check him out. If you just love his smooth voice, which people said, like that's not even my wording. That's people have actually said this.
Wow. Okay.
People's champ.
He is the people's champ.
Apparently.
You know you are, bro.
But apparently I'm slacking and whatever, whatever.
Oh, crazy full bomb. Oh dear. But yeah, so this topic is going to be about bad habits. We was talking about this prior, before the recording. We threw some ideas about. I know Jammerz had something he wanted to say, so we'll start with you, mate. What did you want to say about bad habits, and then we'll start getting into like breaking it down in topics and stuff.
All right, so I would say the utmost bad habit with fighting games right now is Street Fighter 4's focus attacking, and how that can kind of hinder your playstyle in various other fighting games that you play. And I'd say our prime example, mine in particular, is converting from SF4 to Street Fighter Cross Tekken and pressing the focus attack buttons and hard attacking and losing out on a bunch of health and a character.
That is a real struggle.
That is probably the epitome of bad habits in fighting games right now. And it's because of how focus attacking is implemented into Street Fighter 4 and pretty much the description of it. It's like, absorb one attack and kind of backdash or kind of save yourself some grey life. And then you're thinking, this button or these two buttons are really good. And when you convert to other games that you want to play and you press the exact same buttons, they're like, oh, I've raw tagged by accident or muscle memory. So I'm doing these things by accident when they actually do a different function. Like what? In Guilty Gear, I'm pretty sure those are the flawless D or burst buttons. So when you press them by accident,
Yeah.
exactly half the time when I was playing you guys in Guilty Gear and I burst by accident, it's because I was like focus tagging or hard tagging.
Yeah. No, I think with that kind of aspect of it, do you think? I don't know. I've never really like heard of anyone kind of explain, like, a really good example would be someone like Justin Wong. Not like to big up like Americans or whatever, but he's a good example because obviously he's sick at multiple games where he doesn't. I don't really think that comes into account for him. Like he doesn't think. Sorry, he doesn't have the kind of forgetfulness when he's going into other games. So he'll go into Street Fighter and think, right, I can do X, Y, Z. I'll go into Marvel. I've got this option. Like, oh, when I'm blocking, I can advance block. Obviously, in Street Fighter, you can't do that, and vice versa. Like, each game has its own options, and he doesn't get confused which game he's playing and which options he has. But I don't think how would you learn that? Like, I'm asking you directly, Jammerz. Like, how would you when you're going into like Skullgirls, for example, from Union?
Okay.
Obviously, they're not the same game. They've got similar movement, but obviously something in like Union, you would have to think, oh, okay, right, to hold the grid, I need to not play defensive. You have to kind of go in.
Yeah.
Where you don't get like a negative penalty in Skullgirls.
Yeah.
How do you think you would go about kind of like learning differences between different games?
Well, first, you have to play the games to a certain extent to kind of like put it into your body, so like muscle memory, so that you'll know immediately when you jump on what's what and what options you have, like you mentioned before. But I'd say the habit that's there is when you immediately switch games. So say you signed up to 7 games in like one tournament, and it will be switching from I've got to play a Marvel match immediately to I've got to play a Street Fighter 4 match immediately to I've got to play a Guilty Gear match. It's trying to find that balance in between so that you don't forget. But the bad habits are you're quickly still reminiscing on what just happened, like your last set. So when you jump onto a different game, you're kind of still the muscle memory installed for that previous game is now inserted into the next game that you're doing. So that's one of the things that makes it difficult. But if we're talking about Skullgirls and Union, it's you have to put it down to like the bottom line. You have to learn the game's base mechanic first, so that you won't kind of like stumble over and do the wrong things. Once you learn the mechanics and the basic, like do the bread and butter combos, when you do those, then over time, when you're playing like sets or tournament matches, then the rest of the game's mechanics and like your setups, mix-ups, they'll come in over time and just eliminate that bad habit for like, I don't know, momentarily, 5 minutes or so, however long you're going to play.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm going to pass the question over to Benji, because obviously I think Benji would have like a different spin in it, where for people that don't know, obviously Benji plays Smash.
Yeah.
But Benji plays Third Strike, Street Fighter and stuff, and not only is it a different game, you use a different weapon. Like, and by weapon I mean controller.
Yeah.
So with Wii, I'm guessing you use the Wii controller for that, or do you use like a GameCube one?
I use both.
Do you think it's hard, like switching controls, or does it kind of just feel like, does it help sort of what we've been talking about with Jammerz? Does it help because when you've got the Wii control or the GameCube control, your mentality is Smash.
Yeah, yeah.
When you pick up a stick, you're thinking, right, Street Fighter. Does that kind of help?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like if I played, it's like this years ago. I used to play on 3DS, right? I think I've mentioned this in a previous podcast. I used to play a Street Fighter 4 for the 3DS, so that was my like controller. Then I moved on to pad, then fight pad, then fight stick and stuff. But now, since I've been playing on fight stick for most fighting games on console, I can't play on pad anymore. That's not an option for me. But it's like when I play Smash, it's GameCube controller or Wii U pad, right? Mm-hmm. But if I were to use a GameCube controller for like Street Fighter 4, it's not going to work.
Yeah, you'd be done.
Yeah, I'm going to be finished. But first of all, I just want to say that I think like switching from game to game and getting the muscle memory all like tangled up, I think that isn't a bad habit. I just think it's like just a little bit of rust that you get, like muscle memory rust. Because I think, okay, say with Street Fighter 4, right? You do like, as you were saying, with the focus attack, and then you do the raw launches and Street Fighter Cross Tekken.
Yeah.
When I go to Smash, it's like I'm trying to do like a. I remember I did a fireball. So sorry, no, not fireball. Like a Shoryuken motion, like forward, down, down, forward, B. And I was like, wow, what am I doing?
Right,
It's
yeah.
like that was only an issue for like 1 minute, and then I just completely got into the mindset. So for me, that isn't really an issue. But I think bad habits, they're just little pet peeves. I don't know if you can say pet peeves, but like little nitpicks they have in the game. Like for me in Smash, like one of my bad habits, and I'm so glad that nobody's noticed this because nobody's punished me for it. But like every time I throw out a poke or I go up and do an attack, and if it doesn't hit, I back roll, and nobody's like every single time I noticed, I was watching, I was like, holy shit!
Isn't
Like
that not
this.
like a bad habit? That's just people not knowing that it's punishable.
Well, I mean, if people did punish it, that would be a bad habit for me.
Yeah, no, I think that is a bad habit because I think that would apply to all games. So I'm guessing while you're backdashing, you can't block.
Yeah, there's a few frames of invincibility, and then after that, it's just you can get punished for rolls and stuff.
Right, because you get a lot of people that do. I do it, and I only don't do it when someone stops me from doing it. I'll do scissor kick and then backdash. And it's like there was no need for me to backdash because scissor kick was safe, but I'll still backdash for no reason. And then until someone reads the backdash and sweeps me or something like that, or just walks forwards. If someone just walks forwards after my scissor kick, I know that they know that I've got a bad habit. So I think what Jammerz is saying is not necessarily a bad habit. It's only bad until someone shows you.
Figures it out. They need to figure out like the tendencies about you, not the game. So it can only be classed as a bad habit if somebody figures out what you've been doing.
Yeah.
Until then, it's just a habit.
Yeah. Until then, it's a strategy.
I think, I've had this conversation with you before. It's like when, obviously back in the day when we done FOF and stuff, and you was like, oh, I don't want to hit people with overheads all the time. I was like, dude, do it until it stops working. It might be a bad habit because it's unsafe, but if it hits, then it's totally safe. Keep doing it. If it hits, then there was nothing wrong with it. Like, it might be random, but that's the hardest thing to fight against in any game. Like, fighting something random is the hardest thing to fight, I feel.
Because you have to change your playstyle completely. You have to throw all your knowledge out the window and literally just play reactively.
Shout outs to David the Real.
Oh my days! You know what? I was thinking it and I didn't want to say it, but
Now,
you know what? I'm gonna.
Now you know why I lose.
I'm gonna defend it, right? I'm just gonna bring an example and defend it. So I'm not even gonna say his name. I know you already said it, but I'm diplomatic like that.
Man doesn't want to get caught.
There's some people that class themselves as real on Cross Tekken, and they do really unsafe things. Like they'll do point blank like slides or sweeps, and they're not playing Akuma, so it's not safe. And I think where they've got so much BP and it's worked so much, to them it's not a bad habit. You can tell them it's unsafe, but if it hits you, you have to hold that. You can't tell them, oh, why'd you do that for? Because they can turn around and say, well, it worked. It got me to Grandmaster by doing this.
It just links us back to saying you need someone to like kind of just smack them in the back of the head, stop it. That's like jumping in Cross Tekken. There's legit anti-airs and max damage combos from anti-airs. That's why jumping is a bad habit in Cross Tekken.
Would you think it's a bad habit to always play on ranked then? Because when you play ranked, you can
anything goes.
Pretty much, yeah. Because with ranked, you don't really get people's tendencies because it's like it's best out of one match. Like, best out of 2 rounds, 1 match. Then you might not ever see that person again. Where when you're in endless, you get to see people's bad habits, tendencies, and then you know when to adapt or to change up. Well, like you said, when you're in ranked, you do your gimmick, you do your set play. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You don't learn anything because the other person hasn't showed you that they've clocked on.
Well, you have to kind of define the whole bad habits thing, because bad habits is still a broad thing within fighting games anyway, because if you had to be more specific on one thing, then I don't think there's much to say about that one specific thing. But, like I said before, it just boils down to what do you notice about the player? What do you notice about a game's certain mechanic that can lead to bad habits, if you will? So what? My primary example was focus attacks. That was primarily, that could lead to a lot of bad habits in the game. And if you don't know how to use it, then you're just going to get abused to high end.
Do you think there's any sort of bad habits that, how can I put it? Like going back to Benji's point about the bad habits that he thinks he has from, doing specific things in certain situations.
Yeah.
How would you, like, back to Benji, how would you kind of stop that bad habit? Because obviously, like you said, you're doing this and no one's clocked onto it.
Yeah.
So will you force yourself to learn not to do it? Do you think there's any point in doing it?
Well, it depends on the player. If I know that the other guy's a complete idiot and they're never going to catch on, then
Right.
there's no point. There's no point in giving myself that burden of saying, yeah, I'm going to switch up my play style. I'm going to do this, bait him, and there's no point. If the other guy is pretty good, then I'm just going to save myself, a lot of health and a lot of percentage by just saying, okay, I'm just going to stop this here before he notices. I'm going to stop this here. Or maybe if I bring it to the next level, if I will predict that he's going to predict my role, then I'll punish him for it. It's just stuff like that. But it's like other bad habits, like back to what Jammerz was saying. Sorry, but back to what Jammerz was saying. With switching up games, and the what's it called? The muscle memory.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I told you that when I went back to third strike after playing Guilty Gear, I was trying to air dash with Urian.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, this ain't going too well. But after about 1 to 2 minutes, I was alright. So yeah, but yeah.
It's because like there's certain mechanics in fighting games that are kind of, I don't know, they're really good. So it's like you think once you do it in one game, you think like all games should have this and you should be able to do this in all games. Because mates, how many times you try to like air dash in Street Fighter or dash forward? Like,
oh yeah, no. In there's, I dash. That is my. I'm not gonna say it's a bad habit because when I catch people with it, I feel good. But it's a habit that doesn't work in every game. In certain games, I can't, especially in Guilty Gear. Because in Guilty Gear, I play a character that can't run, and he actually has a dash, which obviously I'm used to, but other people can run, so they don't have to do like forward. They can just do forward and get at me like in a millisecond.
yeah.
Where I've been used to being in Street Fighter, where my dash was considered strong, like with Bison and Brian. So when I do that in when I do that in Guilty Gear, I feel like I'm doing something right, but it's not, if that makes any sense. Like, it's a tactic that's strong in another game, but I'm still doing it. Because mentally, I think, oh, this is cool. They're not going to expect me to do dash, grab. And it's like, well, you're not playing the character to do that in this game.
Which that just leads back to like player tendencies, which leads back to bad habits. So,
I think, I would say it's a bad habit because it doesn't work as often as it does in other games, like dashing up to someone and doing a low or a grab. Like, that's my mix-up. That's how I play a lot of games, because I don't really play, you're going to laugh, I don't play mix-up heavy characters, bar Leo now. Like, but to get that first initial hit, I don't think he has a really good footsie, so I have to do gimmicky stuff like that. I have to, like, make you think, oh, I'm spacing you out, blah, blah, blah. Get in there quick, do something, and then start the game. But, yeah, I think it is a bad habit. I definitely need, with me personally, I need someone to stop me from doing it.
yeah.
I will never go into a game thinking, oh, I can't do that, until they've proven to me that I can't do it. And that's what I say to a lot of people. Like, you might think it's bad doing that. You might think it's bad doing wake up DP. But until they start blocking it, keep doing it.
Yep.
Okay, it's like what you're saying is it's a hand-in-hand thing. It's 50-50, Wait until someone like tells you or kind of indicates you through actual matches that it's not good to do that. But it's like when I'm training or helping other people get better at fighting games, it's like I'll show them what they can do, but I'll be like, beware, because one day someone is actually just gonna like punish you fully for doing this bad habit. I'll show them a habit or something that's useful, but I'm saying one person will actually just destroy you because of it.
It's a good point as well, and I'll put the link for the match. Sorry, Benji, but I'm gonna have to bring this up.
Hey.
A match between Lucky, MOP Luckbox, and MOP Benji Topaz.
Oh dear.
They had a first to 10. I'll let you lot watch. It's pretty entertaining, to be fair. There was good stuff on both sides. But I've played Nick a lot, and I keep telling Nick, jump back yoga sniper is not safe, especially against Bison. I ultra you on hit. You can hit me with the jump back yoga sniper, and I can ultra you. And when Benji was playing, me and shout out to Roxas, MIP Roxas, we was telling Benji, dude, don't let him do that. Punish him for doing jump back yoga sniper. But Nick didn't stop doing it. Even though he could hear us telling Benji, to punish it.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of the time when someone tells you something's gonna fly, it's hard to adapt. We can tell Benji, oh, don't let him do that, but it's like he still has to react. He knows he can do it, but Nick might have never have done it again after he heard us tell Benji how to punish it. So it's hard to like stop people doing bad things, and I don't necessarily think doing unsafe stuff is a bad habit. Like in a lot of, I think that's the difference between like a casual player and a good player. Like a pro player. The same pro is that a pro player knows when they should take a risk, where a bad player either doesn't take any risks or they
continuously
don't know when
do it.
Yeah. So if I'm a pretty mediocre bison. I think a bad bison is a bison that only does scissor kicks because it's safe. Because he's
Safe
not
to a
gonna,
certain extent.
yeah, he's not gonna. Well, yeah, not even against grappler characters, he's not safe. But he's not. His footsie game is really weak because people know that he's only gonna do safe stuff, which means, oh, you're gonna scissor kick, I can neutral jump. If the bison ever jumps in, even though it's a DP character or like Guile, he's never going to get any damage, or he's never going to land a hit because the Guile's just going to know, well, I can just hold back, take the little bit of chip, or just neutral jump, and you're not going to stop me from doing that because you're only doing scissor kicks. So I think the gap between, like I said, pro and casual, you kind of need to have bad habits. You need to have things that people can see. Like what Benji was talking about earlier, he was saying, oh, if someone reads my bad habit, I'll punish them for trying to punish my bad habit.
Yeah.
People need bad habits, but it's when and how often you use it, I think. Everything in moderation, basically, is what I'm saying. Like, have bad habits. Nick, keep doing jump back yoga sniper, bro. If it works, do it. Don't do it against me. Because I'll murk you for it. But if no one else is blocking it, go ahead and do it. So, yeah, I think with the word bad habit, people just think, oh, I need to get rid of it. But I think some bad habits are pretty necessary.
I guess.
Sorry to steal your topic there, Jammerz. I know you wanted to go on about David Real.
Oh no. I wasn't even stealing my topic. It was just making a point. I had to state, or that was a prime example I had on top of my head. I was off the dome.
Off the dome. I want to move it as we're on this bit now with doing bad habit things. Is Benji? Obviously, do you want to tell people obviously that Benji won a cross Tekken tournament?
Oh dear, yeah.
He came out of nowhere. He literally did come out of nowhere. No one was ready
Crowd
for
by
him.
storm.
I said, "Yo, I've got this kid. His name's Benji. No,
I've got this little flower in my plant pot that I water every day."
Yep, I've been feeding him. He doesn't even know he doesn't know anything but Makoto. All he knows, he only reads the Rindokan. He's fresh off the boat, right? He likes Ogre, and he picks another character. Let's do this. Bring him to the tournament.
Yeah.
He got in the tournament. He played the two quote-unquote best players there, Wolfson and Fury, and he bopped them.
Yep.
And who was the only person actually punishing his Owls Hunt? It was me.
It was you.
Because why? Because I played these things, or played these characters for too long.
And do you think it's? I'm not gonna compare Benji to Gandhi. Definitely not.
Wow. That's what I was
rude.
going to say. It's reminiscent of FSP versus Gandhi because, basically what I did, to those who don't know, is for some strange reason, the gatekeepers weren't on point that day, and I got myself to grand finals, and
Wow.
it was me versus Woolston, who's a very good player, I
Shout out
believe.
to Wolfstead.
Yeah, I mean, he has little, gaps in his offense and defense here and there, as people have said, he's not very good against overheads and stuff like that, which I took into account, which is what I do best, which is just random owl hunts. And that's again, relates to bad habits. It's just, you think I'm going to do footsies and something smart, but no, I just do random owls hunts, and people it's a legit thing. It's a legit, it's a strategy. People get hit by it. And guess what? I get half health, and I win. And I win tournaments, apparently.
And you got 20 quid? You got 20
I
quid?
got 20 quid. I bought myself bar lemonade. I bought
Jeez.
myself,
Man felt good. He said this is free.
Man said not even Iron Brew, bar, the special stuff.
Yes.
Man felt good.
Yes,
It
certainly.
feels good when you win the weekly Benji. Mace doesn't know that feeling yet.
I don't know that feeling. I know what second and third feels like. I've been there plenty of times, bro.
So have I,
I've been
though.
there. It's not cool. But what I was going to say is back to what Benji was saying about he was saying that Wolfstein in theory didn't clock onto his bad hat. Oh, they weren't gatekeeping. They didn't have the gatekeeping hats on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they're just not good gatekeepers? Do you think they don't know how to deal with? No, I'm not saying Benji's mediocre, but they're not right. They're not ready for random play.
They're not ready for random play, and they're not. They probably weren't. I don't know, battle hardened for bad habits.
I think they've been obviously in the beginning. They kind of dominated, right? And basically, the message they put across was, "You can't out footsie me." So everyone tried to out footsie them, and it didn't work. Like that was the game from day one. Theory came and said, like, "I'm gonna footsie you. I'll play Chun-Li. I'm gonna out footsie you." Standard. And me, shouts to Darkos as well. We all tried to go, right, we're gonna up our footsie game. We're gonna out foot Theory. Didn't happen. Benji come along and thought, I'm not gonna play footsies. I'm gonna do me, and he bopped him.
Yeah, I don't want to put. It's like if I know the player is good, I'm not gonna put up with the burden of just learning all this stuff and changing my play style. I'm just gonna test. If our hunt
I guess
works,
you could say that's
like you said.
Yeah, no, I guess you could say that's a bad habit about players. If they're saying, if everyone around them is saying this player is good at a certain thing or a certain attribute they have in fighting games, and then everyone tells this one dude, we'll use Benji as the example, everyone tells Benji that these guys are footsies, you can't beat them. It's like that's a bad habit to like everyone telling him.
Yeah.
It's like, it's like, oh, a bad habit and just saying, oh, you can't beat this guy. Not sure what the word is, but it's just kind of spreading the word saying you won't beat this guy for one thing. So
Yeah.
I think trying to play someone at their own game is normally going to work out bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Normally, like I said, the perfect example is Theory. You can't out footsie Theory. It's very hard, and especially in Cross Tekken with Chun-Li. You have to do nutty stuff. You have to. And I remember I was saying that to Darkos, like, stop trying to play him at his game. He wants you to play footsie so he can beat you at it. If you don't play footsies, you won't beat him. Like, and he was so scared, like, oh, I can't just do random jump-ins, he'll anti-air you. And it's like, dude, he's not going to anti-air you every time. His footsies makes it, like, apparent that you want to jump in. Like, I used to say this all the time, like, don't jump in on me, I anti-air you, free, done that. I proved it a couple of times with Brian, like, I'll get my anti-air and then convert to, like, mad damage.
Oh yeah.
But I don't anti-air you every time. But people were scared to jump on me.
Every time.
But you've jumped on at me loads of times.
Yeah,
Blatantly as well.
with a dive kick.
No, you jumped in with Nina as well, bro. You jumped in with Nina.
I did that with the knockdown.
Bruv, everyone jumps at me. I don't want to hear it. Even Wolfstein jumps at me. And, like, people say that all Wolfstein does is jump and jab, right? Wolfstein was one of the people that kind of complimented me on my anti-air game, but he didn't stop him from jumping in on me. It didn't. And it backfired on me where I thought, my meta game is to make people think that they can't jump, so I can fight them on the ground. I'm Bison. I don't want you to jump. I can't stop you from jumping, so I'll make up for it by saying, my Brian will anti-air every guy here. And it didn't work because I thought, he's going to respect my air game. He kept jumping. Didn't stop him. So I think a lot of people, I wouldn't say it's a bad habit, but I think it's something that people don't take into consideration is verbal metagame. The verbal metagame, or not even verbal, mental metagame, where it doesn't matter what you're doing on the screen, it's what you can make your opponent believe.
Yeah.
And I'd say a bad habit is allowing someone to influence that. And I think I do that to a lot of people. I'll either make them think that I'm angry of what they did. Like, I remember when I first met Darkos, I was mad silent because I didn't agree with the options he chose in the match.
Yeah.
But it worked. It hit me. He would do wake up hands with Christie, and I'd be like, what are you doing that for? That's not strike invincible. It's not grab invincible. I could neutral jump and bang you up for it. But he did it, and it hit me. And every time he hit me, I shook my head, and that made him stop doing it because he thought I was mad at what he was doing. And I was more mad that it was working.
Yeah.
But after that, he was never the same. He changed, Pinocchio style, bruv.
He changed.
Became real boy.
He changed, and he kept doing it. He kept saying, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I was like, dude, it worked. Stop doubting yourself. I think that's a bad habit, like doubting yourself, especially when your thing's working. if you're getting banged up like 20 games in advance, then yeah, change up what you're doing, bro. Or change the game. Do something different. Come off. But yeah, if it's working, keep doing it. But
I know
I'll move on.
fireball game's a bad habit. In any fighting game I play, I always get the same thing. They said your fire game's too predictable, and it's a bad habit the way I do it.
But you're lucky, you play Poison. You can have a bad fireball game. It's still anti-air.
No, but it wasn't like that in Cross Tekken, bro. It's only good when you do that old Street Fighter. But it's like half the projectile characters I use in these games is when I do the projectiles, my fireball game is so bad that it's become a habit of what I do. Sometimes, most of the time, don't you notice, mates? Every time I have a projectile, I just backdash and then fireball straight away.
Oh, yeah.
Bad habit.
No, I've clocked on, but I can't do nothing. so I don't say nothing. I don't want you to know that it's really affecting me mentally that you keep doing the same shit and I can't stop you from doing it. It hurts, bro. That's a red focus on me, bro. I hate it. I hate how you can do fireball backdash, love me tender, fireball backdash. It drives me insane, but I can't stop you from doing it. So I'm gonna have to hold that. But what I was gonna say is gonna ask Benji, then you Jammerz. Obviously, Benji, you play a lot of Smash online. Do you think you'll pick up bad habits from playing too much online? Like, because of the caliber of player and stuff.
Now you would think that because it's online versus offline and all this whole controversy behind online, picking up scrubs and giving you a scrubs mentality, right? But the thing is, Smash is a very different game. It's a very different fighting game because 90% of the players that do play Smash are casual players, and they only play it because their favorite Nintendo characters in the game. Well, you won't get that with Third Strike players or Guilty Gear players or anime game. You won't get that with those hardcore fighting game players. But with Smash, there's only a very small percentage of people that do play properly. And the thing is, I think Nintendo, they really did a good job of implementing that online because there's two different modes. There's a for fun mode and then there's for glory. And all of the casual players go on the for fun mode and all of the competitive players go on for glory. Sure, maybe you do get those odd bad players that are obviously, just spamming jump and down B with Kirby. But, it's like they're still learning. And that's a really good thing you got to, respect. That I don't believe that, just because you're bad, you shouldn't hop online. I think, everybody needs to start somewhere. But,
That's a really sick
explanation.
No, I'll say that's sick too. I can't believe.
What?
I knew that there was two modes, but I didn't know what it meant. I always saw people's uploads for glory, and I was like, "What's that? Is that just standard online?" But I didn't know there was two different modes.
That could mean anything to someone, but Benji's perception on it is well put. Because that could mean anything.
Like, it's like you think Smash, right? There's going to be a lot of because it's Smash, you're going to get a lot of casual players. But I was really surprised of how really well conserved both ends were. Like all of the casual players are over here and all of the competitive players are over there. And I was like, wow, it's actually stayed like this for a long time. And it's really holding up. And that's why I really like Smash, just because of that, because it's so different. It's a nice breath of fresh air. And even though it's not very well received because people don't believe it's competitive enough and it doesn't have, those hardcore options that, say, Street Fighter does, I still believe that everything in that game is options because you got short hops, full jumps, double jumps, all of these different buttons and, tilts that you can do. It's so good. It's all about reading. The game's all about reading. And, netcode's pretty good, all this stuff. But, yeah, my main point is that because the online is implemented so well, bad habits aren't really a thing. They're really not. If you do have a bad habit, it's because of you as a player, not because you're playing offline or online or all this stuff. It's because of you or the other player. Or it's because of you. It's not because of anything else. That's why I really like it.
That is good. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people like to accept that the thing that's going wrong is them.
Yeah.
I think people like to blame the other person's play style or
the
lag or the caliber of player they're playing.
Oh, I blame the lag in players. At the end of the day, I always boil it down to I didn't do this and that.
That's why I wanted to move on to you afterwards. Because I know you... Well, I didn't know the answer that Benji was going to give, but I know your feelings about, especially PSN. Do you think playing on PSN... Let's talk about gatekeeping, right? Do you think
my God.
if you started to gatekeep on PSN, it would lower your caliber of play?
It wouldn't. No, it wouldn't lower the caliber of play. It would drop my skill level. So it's like, cause sometimes I go on PSN and I'm like, oh yeah, I lost here and there, but I lose to like silly stuff because not everyone on Xbox Live people do not do that. It's like we're playing some solid games here, and one person makes a mistake, we're done due to our bad habits. But with PSN, the thing with PSN is there's a mixture of play styles. Like there's a huge mixture because of they're not all high level. They're playing it for casual, so you're more likely to encounter randomness than you do on Xbox Live. But at the end of the day, you gotta say it's well, for me, my bad habits for not like punishing, or it's my fault for not punishing and dealing with these sort of things. But obviously on their end, it's like I try to tell them, like, kind of through matches, don't jump, don't do this, they're bad habits, because I will do max damage. And believe it or not, I can hear these guys through the TV. Every time they jump, they always go, oh, damn it, I shouldn't have done that. And I listen, Benji, I hear all the time when they jump on my Nina and I get 400 damage off an anti-air because they jump. And the thing is, I anti-air them with one combo and they'll jump straight immediately again, and I do it again. And it's like, come on, guys. It's like, how many times I have to do it before you learn not to jump? But the thing is, they don't have that kind of caliber of play on PSN because they all play the same way. Well, they don't all play the same way. They're all in this circle of players, which if you jump outside that circle, you might just get a ring out in Soul Calibur. But hey,
Sorry, can I chip in here? Can I chip in?
Wow, ring out.
Can I chip in?
Yeah, go, Ben.
Go for it.
I completely agree with Jammerz, but the thing is, right, I think that PSN compared to Xbox Live, the PSN players, they are much more egotistical. I tend to find. They have much bigger egos. But the thing is, I'm strictly PSN. I don't play on Xbox Live. So this is like first-hand experience. The players on PSN, they love themselves. They can do no wrong.
That explains a lot
On
about
Xbox
you.
Live, I mean, huh?
That does explain a lot about you. To say you got the best link in the UK, is that a PSN thing?
Well, I
Is
mean,
that the PSN coming out?
No, I mean, you can't diss facts, but
Oh, sorry. Go back to what you talking
I'm done. I just want to say that PSN players are egotistical. Quite, shouts to David the Real.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
The name drops.
I gotta do it. Someone needs to put these people down.
All right, okay. You're a mod though. You could do it anyway. But do you think there's a reason? Do you think there's a reason why, in your eyes, PSN is more egotistical than Xbox Live players?
That's a tough question.
I can answer it very easily.
I can answer it, but there's many ways to answer it. That's why I'm saying it's a tough question.
I can't, Benji. Drop the knowledge.
Okay.
The gems.
PSN is free, and Xbox Live has to pay for it. Now, with Xbox Live, these players, since they spend money on this, they treat it with a bit more caution because you can get banned. With PSN, you can get away with a lot more things. Like, I think the metagame for PSN and Xbox Live is very different, I think.
Okay.
And PC. Like, those three. I think, overall it's, the same thing, just different consoles, right?
Yeah.
But there's just little things that make it very just game-changing, I think. Like,
Yeah.
I think that you'll encounter players that will empty jump grab on PSN. I don't know.
Empty jump grab.
No, that is it.
Live.
Trust me, bruv. I don't think there's that. There's definitely more players on PSN that will empty jump grab or empty jump low.
They empty jump low, bro. Have you noticed when we alpha count our jump-ins now? Do you know why we're doing that?
Because of Xbox.
No, it's because of PSN. We don't do that on Xbox Live.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, the empty jump low, so we're starting to roll on jump-ins? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
Oh, why is the meta different? I don't understand it.
I don't know.
It might be because of the frames, like, I don't know.
Because the thing is,
because consoles have different frames.
I kind of see where Benji's coming from. Because obviously, I was on PSN for a long time, literally just PSN, and when obviously it was only when I started really coming to FOF, I thought, you know what, I need to get an Xbox to play you guys, like you, Theory, Woolston,
Yeah.
and like it was an eye opener, bro. Like now, I will literally only play anime on PS3.
Wow.
Anime, well, Skull Goals is literally Steam. I wouldn't play unless it's you, like any of you guys. I won't play Skull Goals on any console.
Yeah.
Because of the caliber of players. If you go on Steam, I will get waxed up, completely waxed up. But if I go on console, no one's touching me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different realm, like, and yeah, I do see what the Benji's saying. The thing is, you know how real what Benji said is so real. It's unbelievable because me.
No. Sorry, can I say something?
Go on quick.
See, I think you can tell a lot about a person depending on what they play on, because since you have to pay on Xbox Live and PSN is free, I feel like a lot of peasants and cheapskates go on PSN.
Wow.
But people that have standards go on Xbox Live because they have the money. They want to put money into, having quality online.
Man, put the classical hierarchy.
Wait. Let me put my Kevlar vest on because you just took a shot at me, right? One sec. Like, I like Sony. First of all, I'm not a fanboy.
PS3 is a very good console.
PS3 is an entertainment system where Xbox is a game console.
Yes.
Big difference, bro. Blu-ray, shut your mouth, Xbox. But
bro, try not to stray off topic here.
I'm not.
Benji mentioned the word peasants.
No, I'm coming round. Don't worry, bro. I'm just taking a U-turn. I'm coming back. But the thing is, when I got a PSN thinking I ain't paying for my own service. So basically, that's like me going, oh, I want some food. I bought my food, right? I've got the cutlery and stuff, but then I'm paying to use my knife and fork. Like, I have internet. Don't let me pay to use my own internet. Like, that was my deterrent from Xbox. But
so that tells me that you're a person, right, that can survive with, okay, you're not a peasant. You're far from a peasant, right? But I think you're a person that can survive without lack of quality. Like, as you were saying with food, I reckon if you didn't have a knife and fork, you'd probably eat it with your bare hands.
Yeah, standard.
You'd result, yeah. But Xbox Live players, they wouldn't do that. They'd hunt for a knife and fork.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah, I can live with that. I don't. There's definitely there's a cap on how good you can get if you only played on one console. I think.
Really.
Vice versa. I think if you only played on Xbox, a PSN player could come and whoop you up because you ain't ready for that type of player.
Guilty.
Well, if guilty was on both consoles.
No. I'm saying I'm guilty of that. So I'm saying
you're guilty.
Yeah,
right.
guilty.
Well, yeah, you're a perfect example. Jammerz will go on Xbox, Xbox for Cross Tekken, wax up a load of people. Go on PSN, bruv, all over the place. I ain't talking about it. I'm not a snitch.
No, I'm saying that I don't wax up people on Xbox Live anymore. That doesn't happen anymore.
No, you did. You definitely did. I think for you, it was easier for you to gatekeep on Xbox than it was on PSN because of the bad habits that PSN players have.
Yeah, and the 4 gems.
Oh my god, yeah.
I mean, don't get us wrong. Like, online, offline, everybody has bad habits and stuff. And PS3, Xbox, the online is online. There's no way around that. But PSN players, they are peasants. Wow. They are poor. They are poor people.
Wow.
There's a reason why they don't want to put money into the online game experience. Is because they want to get away with stupid stuff and they don't want to get banned and they don't want to pay money for being a they don't want to pay they don't want to pay money to get good. Yep.
Well, not all PSN players are put into this equation.
Yeah, I was gonna say anime players do not count because literally that's their only option. I think Tekken is sort of the same, but I think with a neutral game like Street Fighter and Cross Tekken, then yeah, what Benji's saying is kind of right. It's kind of hard to argue Benji's point with the neutral.
It's like I'm not saying like that all players are peasants because I'm predominantly on PSN, so that's basically me being hypocritical. But you know what? I do a lot of very cheap things sometimes. That's why I play Makoto, because I don't want to learn footsies. I don't think my Makoto would be as successful as she is if I played on Xbox Live. That's just the way I see things.
Okay.
I can see that.
Mm.
I can see that.
Because as I said, online is online, right? But there's just depending on what console you play on, PC, Xbox, PSN, doesn't matter. There's just little things that people do that like they do it more than others, they do it less than others. And I think PSN is very low class. Low class.
Wow.
They're on benefits.
Oh my
Whoa.
days! I can't even edit out.
Wow.
I can't even edit out.
Benji, I'm gonna say this on stream now. I'm not on stream. I'm gonna say this on Skype now.
Yeah.
Quotes like this, they could get you shot one day. Real talk.
Oh
You know
boy.
what? I have to respect it. I respect anyone that speaks their mind. So
Oh yeah, of course.
I'm trying to think. Can I disagree with it? I don't even want to. I'm gonna let it slide. I'm gonna let it slide.
Myself
Benefits.
slide because I'm your team leader.
Hey, let's be real here. If you had to pay for PSN, wouldn't you agree that 90% of the players on PSN would stop playing?
They would, but that's
Just
what
because you have to pay for
PlayStation
it.
4's about, isn't it?
Well, let's say the PS4 isn't out yet.
Okay.
Just PS3, right? Wouldn't you agree that 90% of the players on PSN would stop playing solely because you have to pay for online?
Well,
See, I don't know.
A lot of cheap people get. That's why I got PS3
wait,
because they
this
don't
is-
want to pay for online.
I'm gonna throw a curveball, right? I kind of thought what Benji thought, but in reverse. Because I used to think, why are casual people gonna buy a PS3 because it's more expensive than an Xbox? And I thought, oh, if you're poor, you're just gonna get an Xbox because it's cheaper.
okay.
That's how I used to think. But then I saw the caliber of players, and I was like, okay, maybe because the Xbox is literally just for gaming, gamers got the Xbox, and they didn't want an entertainment system and didn't get a PS3 because they thought, oh, if I'm paying this much money, I might as well get an Xbox and
Yeah.
use that money for online. That's how I used to think. Benji brings up a good point, though. I can't lie.
I mean, it's just in my eyes. I think if people pay for what they're getting, they're gonna make it. They're gonna make sure it's top quality. But if
Yeah.
something's free, they're gonna take it for granted. And that's what people do on PSN. They take it for granted, as shown as the online quality of play. Empty jump grab and wake up DP and all this stuff, just random nonsense. And again, as I said for like the third or fourth time, I'm not saying that this is just PSN exclusive. Online is online, but
Bro,
I've already said. I've already talked about peasants. Yeah.
So, Jammerz?
Online is the definition of bad habits, bro. Listen, you could put online, you could put bad habits, and then you could have like in the middle of like a brainstorm, and you could just point in so many different directions when it comes to online.
Do you think, like, obviously from what we're saying about the differences between Xbox and PS3 regarding bad habits, do you think that could apply to offline and online? So
Oh
say,
yes. There's bad habits offline as well. Don't worry.
right.
Can't
So-
leave that out of the equation.
Yeah, no, because the way we're talking about Xbox players and PSN players, it makes me think of online players in general to offline players. So what Benji's saying about the online community, offline people are just saying about all of online, PSN and PS3. PSN. Do you think there's kind of... Obviously, it's easy for offline people to point out the bad points about online. Do you think there's bad habits you can get from playing offline?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't jump enough.
Yep.
Don't...
Actually,
I get told when I'm playing like offline and stuff now, I don't jump enough. I'm always on the floor. But that's because, we're so used to playing offline, ground game, and tiring each other. There's certain things,
Right.
like, when you go online, it's because you've been playing offline and it's like the quality is a lot stronger in the game, or like the competition is a lot stronger. So you're bound to not kind of go back to kind of these subtle things that can help you win a game or something. And just jumping is one of them.
What was you going to say, Benji? I know you have strong views on offline and online. Very
Yeah.
strong views.
I just
So
want
the
to say.
peasant stuff was bad. This is going to get real.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
so I do believe that offline do have more bad habits than online players, and let me explain. I'm gonna tell you why I lost to Theory. Why I won against
I'm gonna
Theory.
let you know.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
an inside
I'm gonna tell
scoop.
you why.
Okay. Inside scoop. Let's go.
Solely because Theory overestimated me. he thought that because I came offline, I went to a tournament. We're gonna see some top level play. I'm gonna play footsies. I'm gonna do these mad sick reads and mind games and stuff like that. And it's just gonna be level headed, just on sync Street Fighter Cross Tekken, right? And then he got hit by 10 Owls Hunts, and then he died.
Mercer
And
10
he just wasn't he just wasn't ready. It was like,
Oh my god, that's the long version of the story as well. Man just said 10 owl hunts. He's
yeah,
done.
but it's just, and you know what? I feel really bad for winning because I didn't
That's-
deserve it.
I know.
Okay, shout outs to Nick or Lucky Cubal, MOP Lucky Cubal, right? I don't want to be like you.
Bruh!
I don't wanna just do 10 teleports and grab, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing because I really like your playstyle. I just love the way you don't care. But I do. And I want to play you.
Man, I've got standards. I'm not a jester, bruv. I'm
Yeah.
not here for your entertainment.
It's like if I had the money, I'd go to Xbox Live because I have standards. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, the blow up. Oh, Nick, please. I'm
But
so
it's
sorry,
just,
Nick.
I do really care about the quality of play, and I wanna beat you not by gimmicks. I didn't want to beat Theory by using Owl Hunts. You know what? Half of those times I used Owl Hunts, I wanted him to punish me, but he didn't. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna take the win, and I didn't feel good about it because I want to be like you guys. I want to beat Theory by beating him at footsies. I want to beat him at his own game.
I didn't
Right,
beat
yeah.
Then I can feel like I've truly won.
No, he didn't.
I promise.
I know what you're saying. I think
And that's a bad habit. They overestimated me. It's like the FSP versus Gandhi issue. I was the Gandhi in that situation and I won. Because it's offline players have this, right? They underestimate and they overestimate. They're very bad. With online, you just do what you want, and I think you can get away with a lot more things by doing that. By
That's a very good point.
using your brain less, I think doing less gives you more.
I think that's a very good point. I think I don't like saying the word random, but actually no, let me think of another word. I don't want to say random. Being unpredictable is one of the strongest strengths you can have in any
Yes.
setting, offline, online, tournament, rambats, whatever. If you are so, like, if you've got a brain that just randomly generates options in your head and you just do it, it's very hard for your opponent to read that.
Yeah.
It's very hard to read non-flowchart stuff. People hate set plays and flowcharts, but to be fair, that's easier to deal with. Or that's what we're conditioned as the FGC to deal with.
Yeah.
We're conditioned for a Ken player to do step kick.
It's convenient for us. We don't want to think outside the box. It's convenient.
They're like, oh, it's safe. He can reach me from mad far. He's going to do it. I'm ready for it. But if he started just walking up DPing, you'll get hit by it. You see Momochi do it all the time.
Yep.
You see Momochi go up to you and wake up and DP because you're like, why would you do that? You ain't got any meter to make that safe. But it's because it's being unpredictable.
Oh my god, I heard this on a Capcom Pro Talk, I think.
Yeah.
And they were saying like the main difference between Japanese and Western players is that American players, say if they were put in a situation where they were to DP at just a random moment, American players would do it with 2 bars of meter, so they could FADC it in case it was unsafe. But with Japanese players, without any meter, they'd do it,
Well, I do that.
and that's because it would hit, and that's why it would hit because you wouldn't think it would.
Yep. Being too smart. Well, no, not even being too smart. Reading the situation too well, and that would hit me because I would look at your 2 bars and think you'll probably DP and make it safe. If you haven't got 2 bars, I think he ain't gonna DP.
You take
Exactly.
it into consideration, but again, bad habit that you're overthinking the situation.
Yep, and that's why Theory lost because he overestimated me,
Wow.
And you know what?
and now he's never going to do it again. And now he,
Ow. Oh, okay. I love how he picked himself up there.
I'm gonna jump on the boat with Benji. That's why I got away with dash raw launch.
yeah,
And I don't switch tag on my raw launches, bruv. I'm the only person in the cross taken history that does not switch tag off a raw launch, bruv. If I don't
and
get the
doesn't
raw
do it
launch,
just in case it hits late.
bruv, have you ever seen me do that? Have you ever seen me raw launch and tag?
No, I can't remember last time you just raw launched me. So.
Bruv, I did it yesterday, and then it traded, and I got that confirmed.
Oh, that one. That's
Oh,
I
yeah.
went to do a counter hit, but whatever.
But my point is, I put my balls to the wall. If I'm going for a raw launch, I'm going for it, regardless if I can switch
yeah,
tag.
fully dedicated.
Yeah, I think That is a good point. I didn't hear that talk though. I've seen, like, I've kind of noticed it with a lot of Japanese players. Like, they're more prepared to take risks. And shout out to Juicebot, because he did talk about this. He talked about this on one of his streams, where he was saying that's the gap between Japanese and American, and you can probably throw in Europe in there as well.
Yeah.
Japanese aren't focused on safe play.
Yes.
They're focused on
Unpredictable play.
Yeah, they're focused on, I've read you. I'm doing this. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. If I get it right, I'm a bad man. Where,
Yes.
Who, you?
Yes.
No, you just do stuff. That's totally different.
Wow. Okay. Fine.
DD going up right now.
Wow. Okay.
But no, you know what? To be fair, it is kind of the same. You will do what you want to do. I think it's a little bit different. Like, you don't get deterred from playing your game plan. Where Japanese players will see your game plan and take risks to stop it.
Yeah.
You don't stop people. You just do what you do.
I guess.
You have no regards for anyone else's safety or well-being. Women and children don't get off first, bruv. It's
Wow.
you.
Wow.
That sounds about right.
So, but yeah, I don't think enough people, bar Seth players, have that mentality. Seth players, that's all they do.
Yeah.
Seth in any country will be doing what Seth does.
And that's why he's top tier. Because of that meta.
I would say so. I think that's a strong reason why Pornko did so well. Not just because of his skill, but the mentality he had. The mentality does get people a long way, and I think.
Yep. Like triple dash SPD, you know.
Bad man.
Yeah.
Certified.
Fully dedicated. He married that SPD. Like, he's fully dedicated.
Committed man, yeah. Fully committed. Married man.
Yeah.
Got a ring on it.
Committed to the relationship. Let's go.
Yes.
I think. Do you think that's kind of an online trait, or mainly an online trait? Do you think offline people don't really kind of do that sort of thing?
Both of them have bad habits, but they're different. Like, offline bad habits are different from online bad habits. But yeah, do you want to elaborate on that?
I was gonna say, do you think the sort of happy medium would be online tournaments?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because obviously, even though it's online, you're comfortable. You're in your yard, you're in your house, in your chair with your bottle of juice, boxers, your headset on. So you're comfortable. You're in your zone. But it matters if you win or lose because you could get knocked out. So there's the offline element where it's like you might not get embarrassed if you lose because no one can see you. You've still got that cover behind you. But it matters where ranked BP, in the grand scheme of things, doesn't matter. A tournament doesn't really matter, but it makes you've got more of an impact to leave if you win the tournament.
Yeah. Okay. I guess that's fine.
I still think that's a horrible idea, like online tournaments in a whole. Because I know what you said. I understand. Like, you're comfortable. You're in your boxer shorts at home with your Doritos and Sprite. Just looking at your TV screen, and of course you have that comfortability. I don't think that's a word. You're basically comfortable, but you still have that competitive drive that you actually have something on the line. But the thing is, even still, people will be looking out for blood. They'll be looking for blood in people's heads because it's online, and they're going to complain about lag. Can you imagine the amount of anger that will generate? Like, the amount of competitiveness. I don't even think that's a word. I can't talk. But yeah, the amount of that just online, right? Paired with the mentality that online players have, just complaining about lag and all this stuff. That's just, that's a bad concoction. Yeah.
That is a very bad habit. Everyone does it, blames lag, but it is a bad habit. It's a habit you can't really escape. But I think instead of moaning about it or bringing up the issue, just hold it. Just be silent about it. Because if I lose to lag nowadays, I used to be like that, but if I lose to lag nowadays, mentally I'm thinking, if I see you offline, I'm going to body you.
That's me.
Yeah, but I don't say it. I don't have to send a message telling him that. I know it, sort of thing. So
yeah, but that's the thing though. It's like when you go online, there's always those random lag spikes. It's random, and obviously everybody hates randomness in any fighting game because it's something that you can't control. Whereas if you're offline, everything is in control, and if you lose, it's your own fault. But people, if it's online, even if it wasn't laggy at all, they're going to complain about something. Like maybe little tiny lag spikes when they were trying to do a combo, and that's why they dropped it. You know?
I've been like watching some shout out to typical East Coast. They were talking about excuses that they've heard offline and stuff, and there was one that Flux was talking about where he went to a tournament and he was moaning because it was hot, but he was sitting next to a fan, I think it was, and basically he was saying, "Oh, the fan's blowing the sweat into my eyes," or something along
Oh
them lines.
wow!
Wow.
But to be fair to him, he said that to the guy. No, he said it in his head, and then he played the guy later, and there was no fan, and he beat him.
Hmm.
So I think any excuse is a mental block, bar lag, where lag is an actual excuse.
Yeah.
I think everything else. I mean, I know some people say when they go to tournament, keep hydrated, like, or some people there's like a sort of not a divide, but there's two ways you can people like prep for tournaments.
Yeah.
They either eat a lot, so they're well fed, their brain's working, blah blah blah, or they won't eat a lot, and then they say, well, it kind of activates my flight or die mode,
Yeah.
where they get more like hungry, they get more sort of like what's the word, barbaric.
Yeah.
So they go all out more because
Human instincts and that.
yeah, exactly. So it's a weird one. That's why I was like kind of putting across like online tournament, because it kind of brings it's not like the best of both worlds, but it kind of brings the offline to online, because it's still predominantly online. And a good example, shout out to Justin, he's sick online, comes FOF, gets mopped.
Because his bad habits online do not work offline.
Oh wow! I feel like I should say something about this guy, but I've never played him before.
Bruv, speak up. Speak
I'm
up.
missing out.
Bro,
the internet,
Benji, what did I tell you when Mace was gonna get his drink? What happened when we done the round robin?
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Text. So what the hell? It's like, oh, I'm telling you.
It's
Loves
it's
to
kind of
hate.
weird, but you have to kind of look at offline and online as two different games. I think there's the special people that can kind of bridge the gap. Someone like Smug, who was predominantly known as online. I remember when I first saw him on was it still Next Level Battle Circuit back then? It might be something else. But yeah, people were just saying, "Oh, this is like the #1 ranked Dudley," and then later on in the Next Level Battle Circuit, it was like, "Oh, he's the top 5," and by top 5 they meant he's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's Smug. Everyone knows Smug, and he started on offline, and he's taken his online skills to offline. Whether that be he's sick at adapting, or the offline players aren't ready for his online skill. And I don't know if I'd mentioned it in other podcasts prior to this one, but I was saying playing in an online environment is a skill within itself, because you said like the randomness of lag. Being trained in that randomness of lag gives you an element of well, not an element, it kind of improves your reactions, because everything isn't what it seems.
Yeah.
Online lag makes things work differently, and you have to adapt to that on the fly, and you don't get it offline. You don't. Everything offline is how it's meant to be.
Yeah, max damage conversions and everything.
Yeah.
And online that's why optimal combos exist, because that's how you adapt to online play. They are easy combos that are optimal, whereas offline it's max damage all the time.
Because you can do it because you're in your environment where you know that there's not going to be any random factor. But let's put an example there. Say you're Sacco, you don't drop combos, right? You do your combo. You play offline, you drop your combo. You've never been in that situation to know what to do next.
Yeah.
I've played shout outs to Jibs. Jibs drops combos online, right? But he always hits me when I wake up, because it's like he's ready. He's prepped himself to know, right, if I drop this combo in this spot, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna hit him with this meaty. And he's ready for that. But if you're so used to hitting your combos all the time, when you do drop it, you're not ready.
That is a good point. Yes. Very good point.
I used to hate online. Even when I played online all the time.
That's what I used to hate it.
I used to hate it. But now that I've gone offline, I know that online has given me certain like traits and skills.
Man's giving you
that I'm
the
thankful
edge.
for. Yeah, it has given. Well, yeah, no, it's given me the fighting edge. Fun it. Yeah, it has. It has. I'm more prepared for things not going my way. Where I play a lot of people offline, they're sick, or when something doesn't go according to plan, they crumble.
Yeah.
And online, that you can't think like that online. You have to expect
The worst.
craziness. Yeah, you have to. You have to expect that not one of my combos is gonna land. I'm never gonna. I mean, like Benji said, that's kind of difference between a B&B offline and a B&B online. A B&B offline is max damage. A B&B online is a consistent combo that is hard to drop. And when you go to offline, sure, they still have a time and place for doing, your reliable combo. But for the most part, you're gonna go for the most damaging thing.
Definitely.
I think even doing that is a bad habit. I think you need to be able to adapt to know when you need to do a standard combo. I think people don't have that mentality where it's like, right, this combo is real crucial. I can't drop it. I need to do a simpler version of my max damage or something like that. But
I totally agree with that. Can't really say much to that because I don't know. It was well put. Again, you two are making your sentences well put today.
right, that's why I got Benji on, and you're on for the personality.
Wow. Okay.
But you are a personality.
Wow.
He is. He's like the MOP's people champ.
Oh, don't say that in front of. Oh no, Nick's the mascot, isn't it? It's different. What I was gonna say is, do you think being a personality is a bad trait? Where obviously people think you may be better than you are.
I like this question.
That's actually a very good question. I'd say it can be because then I don't know, people misjudge that I can play fighting games to a certain extent. It's a bad habit because it just all boils down to the same thing. No one will take me seriously. I won't take myself seriously anymore, sort of thing. So,
do you think that works in your advantage then, rather than it being a bad habit where people kind of get pseudo starstruck? Because I'm playing Jammerz, and then they kind of don't play how they normally play. They wouldn't play you like they would playing a random person online.
They respect you too much.
Yeah, they respect me because of who I am, but that's perception on, that's judging a book by its cover or what you've seen of me on stream. That's just...
It's Jammer's secret meta.
Listen.
What? The Jammerz factor? Huh? What?
4K mode.
Bro, 1080p Jammerz mode, where half the work has been done by his YouTube channel. People see these combos and they're scared of it.
Work into my YouTube channel because it's me running it.
I think because I know I've heard like a lot of people like slate. Let's use Maximilian for example. Say that he can't play fighting games. He definitely can. I'm not that stupid. I know he can play fighting games.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what a better example would be? If you went on ranked and you bumped into Gutex. You saw Gutex's name and you started playing. And obviously because you know that the probability of him streaming and that you're going to be on Excellent Adventures is high. So
yeah,
you're probably going to troll a bit.
Would you troll? I would say, do you think you'd play differently? Like,
you would
jump as much and stuff like that? Or would you troll more? Would you play more into I'm going to be on YouTube?
No, I'm going to be on YouTube. Let me either troll or do something snazzy so that people will actually see it and like talk about me later.
See,
yeah.
I would think
popularity.
That, but I would think, okay, I need to, bring my A game. Well, I think, Benji would be a dickhead. he would be like, right, I've got to knock him down and taunt. Like, I have to do that.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
See, I'm not like that. I would want to perfect the guy. I'd want to perfect him, and it's weird how a name does that.
Do so many things for you.
Yeah, and I don't even think it's a bad habit on the person with the name. It's the bad habit on the person playing the person.
It just brings me back to the point of don't judge the book by its cover, or you're having a bad habit of kind of identifying or having your perception on certain people. So
yeah, I don't play Street Fighter 4 like that. If I jumped on like Guild Gear for example, and I don't know, I saw Kiba, I would probably go like,
shout out to Kiba.
Shout out to Kiba. I would probably think, you know what, I need to fix up for this match.
Yeah,
I'll
but
probably do
you
that.
say that you do that with Cuba, and then the bad where the bad habitness kicks in is that you do that for every top player or someone that you've known or someone you've seen in the FGC in their respective game.
Yep, totally. Whenever you respect a player, you will always put yourself at a deficit for beating them. Always.
Hmm.
So that's why I've kind of gone into Guilty Gear thinking I am the best. I lose the characters, I don't lose the players.
Egotistical.
Bruv, it has to be done. I play Leo. I am Leo. Standard.
Wow.
Like, you didn't win because you wasn't me. That's the bar.
Wow.
That is his bar, and I have to believe that. If I'm gonna play the character, I've got to go into the match thinking. I've said it in like, I don't know if I said it to you, but I said it in the other chat. I basically said if you're not playing Faust, Venom, or Elf, you're a victim. But I don't see any other characters on that character list. They're
Wow.
victims. Bar the ones that I think give me about. Oh, Bedman. Sorry, that's what it was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bedman, Venom, and Faust. If you're not any of them characters, you're a victim. You're a body getting prepped to be put in the bag.
Wow.
That's how I see it. If
But
you're
can I
one of
say
them three
something?
characters, I've got to try. I've got to try because I know that character naturally beats Liam. So,
Can I say something?
yeah.
This is going back to the what's it like personality? Like, can you still be competitive or not? If you're a personality, and this is kind of shout outs to Capcom Pro Talk because I got this from there as well. It's Mike Cross and K Brad. They were talking, and
Oh
K
yeah.
Brad was saying that Mike Cross he isn't a player anymore. He's an
Yeah.
entertainer now, and that he's really behind on the tech. Even Mike Cross says that he's behind on the tech, and that he's only focusing on like Twitch, cross counter, and stuff like that. And I truly believe that is a thing. Like if I believe that you can be a personality and a good player because I think Gutex is one of the best Urians in the world, and he's still really successful with cross counter. But with Mike Cross as well, he is really behind on the tech, I think, and he just doesn't qualify anymore
Behind
because
tech on
because
Street.
of the success.
Was he ever on the tech though? That's the thing.
Yeah, he was really good. Like back when in 09, 010,
Tech
010,
wise though.
10,
Tech wise.
well, I
He's
don't know
always been
about
a naturally
tech.
good player, but I don't think he's ever
Yeah.
had like safe jumps or anything like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he used to place very well, like
Yeah.
back in, when Street Fighter 4 was in its prime. I'm not saying that's not, but back when it was, 2010, 11,
Yeah.
all that stuff. But now that he's, with Twitch and that, he's kind of focusing more on that than, sitting down 2 hours every day playing Street Fighter 4 and learning the new tech.
Yeah, it must be a high balance. Must be a high balance.
Yeah, I think it's the hardest balance because I myself, when I like become of age, when I
Becomes
I
a
stop I
life.
stop being disrespected because I'm young, once I'm like 25, I plan on being like one of the best players in the UK as well as having the name
Wow.
Benji Topaz and
Wow.
lights.
them fighting game ambitions, but
Yeah.
Bro, I respect it, bro. Put that on the CV.
That's
Yeah.
why I play fighting games. That's the difference between people like me and like Nick. Because
wow.
Nick, he's a I'm not gonna say he's a troll. I think he's a really good player still, but I don't think he has ambitions like that. I think he just likes to fuck with you.
Yeah, pretty
So,
much.
pardon my language. I'm sorry, but
That's alright. Your mum's not gonna listen. Cool.
Wow.
But
um,
yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. Like Nick is a cool guy, but I think he's just here to annoy people.
Yeah.
he
Oh.
is. Shouts to Tux. He's a guy
Right.
player. He's on the UKFGC, blowing up people and stuff like that. But it's like Tux. He is a full-on personality. I don't know about his playstyle because I've never played him, but he is known for his his typing ability, which I don't want to talk about. But he's known for his personality, and so is Nick.
It's yeah, I can't deny it. I think Jammerz has got quite a good balance. He's a
Jammerz
hope-
is he has the best balance I've seen, but
Yeah.
other than that,
a good balance,
yeah. No, you got it, bro.
he's
You're not
enlightened.
broken.
He's found the
You're-
mantra.
You're very mid tier. Right, whack bang in the middle, bro.
Oh no.
Wow.
You're not too good and you're not too bad. Sick.
C4 IQ.
Man said you're not too good, not too bad. I never aim to be the best.
But what do you aim for then? Personal bars. What is your aim
What with fighting games?
within the FGC
To play various fighting games at a decent level.
at mid tier level? Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it. It's more if I see people playing a game, or I can enter. If I see people playing a game and say, "Oh, okay, I can play that too to a certain extent. Let me jump on." But if it's for like a major tournament and there's like 8 games that I want to play in, I'd probably pick about probably 3 or 4 and practice hard on those. Because remember, CT said a while back that it's just like you don't actually play seriously. You just want to play it because people are playing the game.
Yeah, I hate you for that. I do hate you for that. I want you to be hungry. Like, but I know that kind of, that's my side. I think that's why me and CT make a good team. Because CT's he's a jack of all trades. Like, he's good at every game, but he won't win every game. He won't win anything. He is the bar for scrubs and casual players. He is the best scrub known to man on every game. CVS, Third Strike, ST, KOF, bruv. You can put any game in front of him, and he will show you a B&B. But he won't win a tournament.
But C4, the best scrub? That's not very nice.
He's the best cash. He's the best casual player. And it's not because he's a casual player himself. It's because he's spreading himself too thin.
Is that not?
I personally couldn't be like, I couldn't live like that. I couldn't live my life like that. Like, the route he's taking, the fork in the road, he took the right turn. He's on his own, bruv. I can't walk the same path.
Wow.
Shadow of death to me, bruv. I can't do that. And that's why I don't like you. And that's why I don't like Nick. Because you lot can play a game and have jokes. I play a game because I want to beat you.
Yeah, that's a difference.
That's why we don't like
It's like when I enter Smash, I don't enter tournaments because I want to get a feel of the offline scene and I want to see how I do against these heads. No, I play to win. That's why I have a pocket Pikachu who's top 10 in the game.
Wow,
because I want to win.
Man said Thunderbolt.
You scared?
Yeah. Because it's like Link. I know Link. Right, he's good. He's good in this game. In the other games, he was questionable. He's pretty bad. But in this game, he's good. But I know full well that Diddy's and Shakes are going to have something to say about that. So my Pikachu is going to have, he's going to have the answer to your question.
Wow, man said I don't play Link. I play Ash, and sometimes I draw.
Yeah, I'm Ash Ketchum now.
No, I respect that. That's why I ain't gonna lie. Within the team, I like Benji and DBZ more. There you go. I said it. Because
I don't care about the people's champ. I'm C4's champ.
They reflect my feelings towards fighting games, and I know it's not like the most liked, and it kind of draws bad publicity being like that because it comes across as being arrogant and all that. But yeah, like I know when I go to Guilty Gear, I don't know many people in the scene, but when I go, I ain't there to make friends. I ain't there to talk to people. I ain't there to get digits. I'm there to kill you with Leo. Like, first and foremost, I'm not antisocial. I won't not talk to you, but that's not my goal. That's not my goal. I'll go to Hog to beat people. I don't go to talk to Mark. Shout out to Mark. He's a safe guy.
Man goes, I go for Hog just to bully people.
Yeah, I'll go for a purpose, bruv. That is
exactly.
Me. And I'm trying to cut down the nonsense because, like, yeah, I'll jump on SF4 and go like, oh yeah, I'm not that good at it. I don't want to be not good at the game. I'd rather play the game and be good, but I think it's too late for me. I'd rather get good at Guilty Gear. I'd rather be good at Cross Tekken. I wish I did this with Marvel, but on Marvel, I spread myself too thin. I was like, oh, I like this, I like that, oh, I like that combo, let me do this, let me prove a point with this tech. And then I start playing these stupid teams, and it's like, if I just stuck with one team, I'd be a lot better now.
But I do that in Cross Tekken, though.
You do that in Cross Tekken, but...
I play with stupid teams.
Cross Tekken's a different beast, because... Not to sound like a prick, you was kind of the best by default for a long time.
Wow.
Because
by default?
You was the... you know what it was? You know what it is? It's sort of like Etsu, where there's not many Japanese players, right? So the US people didn't really have any streams to see. They didn't have any competition outside of the US. So when Etsu came down and won with, what was it, Ryu King?
Oh yeah.
Who's ready for that? Who even plays King, bruv?
I knew a lot of people that did. So
in the US.
No, I knew a lot of people in Europe that did.
Exactly. In the US, there is... I can't think of a king. I'm sorry if there was. I can't think of any US kings, right? So yeah, when Etsu it's not... Maybe Etsu is really sick, but you have to say, like, you know what? Who knows about King? Set combo theme, bruv, from, like, week 1, when he was going on about him. And, bruv, the only time I see King is when I want to see Shining Wizard, because I like the look of that move, bruv. when he's stomping the yard.
Oh no, Flash Metroid played King.
Did he?
Flash Metroid played King and Ogre.
Oh yeah, he
No,
did.
it only just occurred in my head. Sorry, I don't want us to go on a tangent on this.
Oh, no,
Yo!
yeah, shout out to him then, because I didn't know that. Flash Metroid's a G, bro. Flash Metroid is like, you know what you were saying about how you are to cross Tekken because you play the majority of characters, and then obviously we can learn off of that. I feel Flash is the equivalent. Flash and Ryan Hunter for a lot of the games are the equivalent.
Yeah.
Like, they will play the character, show you all the tech, and still do it in tournament. Like Flash is going to Guilty Gear. I know he played other Guilty Gears, but he's playing Chip now, and he shouts to Roxas. He thinks the Flash play is meh. He thinks his mix-ups are whack because you can blitz it all, blah 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 blah. But man's getting consistent like top 5 placings,
You know, he gets just outside top 8 from what I've seen.
and he gets beat by people like Marlon Pie and Japanese players, like, and obviously people that have put in mad time. But he's a tech monster, bro. He will, like, I swear every Evo he's gone to, he's placed like top 32 or whatever, probably higher than that. And every year he uses a different character.
Yeah.
He's played Viper. He's played hot. I think he plays really high with Geef, and Geef's not his main.
Yeah.
He just thought, Bunny, I'm gonna play Geef. Let me show you my Geef. Let me show you my Cody. He does that all the time. And yeah, there's you are kind of the closest equivalent to us for that. Everyone, especially in like the cross Tekken community, has their team with like a sub here and there, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And yeah, we can't explore other characters. I think with a game like Smash, like on Benji sides, obviously you get kind of the overpopularized people like the Diddies and the Shulks. But I'm sure like Benji, if you played a Bowser Jr., a really sick Bowser Jr., do you reckon you would get bopped?
No.
Is that wait? Is that because you've played Bowser Juniors, or because you know Bowser Jr. is a bad character?
Not only is Bowser Jr. a very bad character, but I think that I just personally I just can't lose to him.
So
I don't
it's a
know why.
pride thing. Okay, I see that.
So okay, I think who you want to say is like somebody like Rob. I get beat by Rob all the time, but to the point where I think he's top 10 now, but people don't think he's that good. He's like mid tier, low tier, right? I think he's top 10. So it's kind of like that. But yeah, what was your question?
You know what? My question was basically meant to say like, do you think you lose because of the lack of experience rather than the caliber of player? And I was going to say the same thing because everyone thinks Bedman's whack. Bedman destroys me. Shouts to Karzatron. Karzatron in a tournament whacks me up. Online I can go here and there, but then there's lag, so it's a variable.
Yeah.
But when it mattered, he whacks me up, and no one classes Bedman as a good character. They class him as, oh, we don't know what's going on. There's no good Bedmans, and it's like there is. You guys ain't playing him. That's why he's still low tier.
Yeah, it's like Shulk. Shulk is, I think he's top 10. I know I'm throwing the word top 10 around like very, very freely, but Shulk is probably I won't say top 5, but he's top 10. But people just haven't discovered his stuff yet. Okay, Bowser Jr., he's whack. Charizard, yeah. People thought he was a sleeper, but I think he's pretty bad.
He's still
But
asleep.
yeah, but people like Shulk and stuff, I just think that if people would stop complaining about Diddy and actually focus on these characters like Shulk, or maybe, God, who's an underrated character? Somebody like Marth or Lucina. Palutena.
Underrated because I ain't playing it. That's why.
See, like, with saying that, do you think that's why kind of we're gonna wrap up in a minute because we're getting well off topic? But the last thing I want to say is, do you think that's kind of the reason why Street Fighter 4 is so like kind of flushed out? Where because there's so many people playing it, everyone's got experience with the character. So like, I think Street Fighter, is one of the only games where you can name any character and you can think of a top player that uses that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And with the games, let's say like Cross Tekken, there's Dao Sim. I think Dao Sim's quite a good character,
For that game, yes.
but there's no one proving it anymore.
Yeah.
There's no one proving why Dao Sim's a good character, so everyone just thinks Dao Sim's not good. That's why no one's picking him. When Street Fighter, there's so many players, there's gonna be like a good player using that character. I'm sure way back in the day, people used to say Dudley was whack.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
I remember that.
Oh yeah, like he had Tyrannosaurus Rex limbs.
Yeah, he ain't got no footsies, blah blah blah. He ain't gonna win nothing. Hello, Smug. Wagwan. Same with T-Hawk. Like, T-Hawk got a bust and everyone was scared of him and stuff, but Native was doing that before the buffs.
Well, he was going Rago before the bus. The bus just like gave him a little push.
Yeah, the buffs said like, oh, here is young Native. Now see what he's been doing to you. Like, the only exception I think is like Dan and now DJ. Like, I don't think DJ is a bad character. I don't play Street Fighter, so pardon my opinion. But I don't think he's that bad.
Yeah,
I don't think he's worse than Dan.
Yeah.
Nah.
But if I said that in a Street Fighter forum, bruv, I'd get rinsed. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's obviously like you can say Sai. What's that European player that plays Dan? What's his name?
Oh, Ixion.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I can give you a character and you'll know a person who plays on a high level. Hence why everyone's saying, oh, Street Fighter 4 is like really balanced now. And I'm like, I personally think, I don't think it's the balancing of the game that's the issue. It's that everyone's got experience playing a good player with that character.
Yeah.
So people can say they've played a really good Dan or they've played a really good Hakan. So there's no inexperience going into a match when you play another one. That's why I think it's balanced out the game more than the patches and all that sort of nonsense.
Which is bring us back to the point. This eliminates, the bad habits on perception, and just judging people and characters, shall we say? So.
Judged by the Death Note.
Yeah, or if you want to put it like that in Death Note terms.
Yep, Death Note, bro. Write all your names in there.
It's quite hard to express your opinion in a Street Fighter 4 community because everybody's just so different, and like there's just so many different players, like, and so many players in general that it's quite hard to express your opinion because you're just gonna get shot down.
Yeah, you get drowned out a lot in Street Fighter 4 more than other games. I feel.
Yeah.
It's either because there's more people making more noise than you, or everyone's just following Japan.
Mm.
It goes with most games, to be fair. A lot of anime,
Bad habit to follow Japan.
bruv, that is the worst habit. I think it's the worst habit.
But that's the title of the video. Is it a bad habit to follow Japan?
I'm gonna say it's a bad habit. I'm not saying what they say is wrong. I'm not saying disregard what they say, but like take it with a grain of salt. At least a grain, please. Stop taking it as gospel what they say. If you see a Japanese tier list, people will argue it because they've said it. No one's done the research to back up what they're like defending. They're just saying, oh, Daigo said. Daigo plays Evil Ryu. Daigo's obviously going to play the best character. Evil Ryu must be the best character. That's their logic.
Yeah.
That is their logic. And it's like, okay, I'm not going to dispute that Evil Ryu is the best character, but you ain't tried everyone. If Daigo said Hakan was the best character, would you start picking Hakan?
Mm-hmm.
I probably would, but I'd pick it for alternative reasons.
Done. And like we said just a minute ago, Smug was classed as whack until Smug started beating people with him. And then all of a sudden, he's sick. There's been so many characters in Street Fighter 4 history, where a player's picked that character, won a tournament, and then everyone goes nuts. That's why I flip it and I say, oh, Bison can't be that good because he don't win nothing. I know Bison's not bad.
Yeah. Like Tampa
Yeah,
Bison gets some results.
Yeah, he places, but I can't think of the last time Bison won a tournament.
Yeah, pretty much.
He makes upsets, he places higher, but he never wins anything. Even Guile wins stuff.
Yeah.
And Guile's not that good of a character.
It's like recently the Japanese tier list for Smash indicates that Marth and Lucina are the worst characters in the game.
Wow.
Marth? No
Yep,
way.
Marth and Lucina. According to Japan, Marth and Lucina are the worst characters in the game. They're worse than Ganondorf, worse than Charizard, worse than Bowser Jr., all this stuff. And it's like people are saying, either there are a couple of people that say, oh no, that's silliness, but a lot of people are saying, okay, well, Marth and Lucina, they're bad now. They're crap, which is obviously not true because Marth is Marth. He's always been good. But it's just Japan, it's like, I just feel like they just have such a different view on the game that Americans or just Western or European players in general shouldn't really listen to at all. They should just do it for their own, yeah.
I I'm not saying that Japan's wrong. I'm saying they see it differently. They view it differently.
Yeah.
All they're saying about Hugo.
Just let them be them.
All they're saying about Hugo.
Bob, they said he was the worst character in the game because of how many bad matchups he had, but I picked Hugo because I wanted to.
Bruv, like Hugo's shouts to Jibbo, shouts to Alucard, bruv, shouts to Alex Valle, shouts to
Mike Ross.
bloody Mike Ross, exactly. Like, they
And
make him work. He's not that bad. They make him work. So, I don't know, man. Like, yeah, I think it's definitely a West versus East thing. Just free think. Use your own brain. Make your own decisions. Don't just if what you think happens to be the exact same of what a Japanese person thinks, then that's cool. But don't just accept what people are telling you when it regards to like characters and stuff.
Yes, and that, people, is a bad habit.
You stole my line. I was just about to say that. Thief. Stealing my stuff. Jesus Christ. But yeah. Bastard. Alright, you know what? Funny. You know what? You can close it out. Alright. Benji's been hosting this. Well, he's hosting it from now anyway. I've been Mashroom Pad C4RQ. Subscribe to the channel. Hold on, no, you're the host. You got to end it last. MOP C4RQ did penetrate your eardrums. Damn it, should have said that at the beginning. But yeah, catch me on the channel, Mashroom Pad channel. Look at all the Leo nonsense that I'm doing. Shout out to Darius for the beats as well. Shout out to, I said this on the last one as well. Shout out to Benji for the splash page at the end. Good little kid he is. Shout out to the. Oh, I was about to say shout out to you guys jumping on my podcast, but yeah, thanks for having me on the podcast, Benji. Much appreciated.
It's no problem.
Yeah, that's me. I'm outies. Peace.
Right, Jammerz, your turn.
What, to say goodbye?
Yes.
I'll see you guys on the next interesting topic because apparently I have a bad smell and I don't leave Skype. Apparently so. This is just a rumor. The personality guy, quote unquote, personality guy, has a bad smell and doesn't leave Skype.
The face.
The charisma is overpowering.
The mirror on the wall guy.
Oh wow. Okay. I have to tell you that you look ugly. Cool.
Everyone check out Kingdom Hearts footage. Jammerz plays a mean Kingdom Hearts, bruv. He's got the best Sora.
Oh my god. Alright, I'll tell you after this.
After hours. Cool. Alright then. Benji, close your podcast, mate.
Alright, yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to Mash on Pad, like the video, share the video, all that good stuff. And obviously, write down your thoughts and opinions down below in the comment section. Again, thank you for watching. This has been Benji Topaz. Again, shout outs to C4IQ and Jammerz joining me on my podcast. This is my show. I'm the new leader of MOP.
Calm down.
Hey, please. This is the host talking here, okay?
Here we go.
But thank you guys for watching. See you later.
Shout out to Power Trips. Bye.
Wow.